between Please have your digital or old school scorebooks ready as we read to you the starting lineups. First of all, we just want to mention we do have a fully operating concession stand, and we are very happy to have the great volunteer help that we have to make that happen for all of us. We hope you have something good to eat and drink here tonight. We also want to make sure you stay on the lookout for each other, especially any youngsters here with us, some very young students or kids.
We should be then on now.
Make sure no one's hit by a foul ball or otherwise.
If it's not white.
Any chicanery that could be dangerous.
Correct. If it's white, we're muted.
And now, fans, here are the starting lineups for the two teams. First of all, for the San Francisco Seagulls, as posted by head coach Ryan Davis. Leading off and playing right field, number 7, Alan Ramirez. Batting second, third baseman, number 29,
Kyle.
Jake Brewer.
We're on.
Batting third, center fielder, number 25, Ben Koch. Batting fourth for the Seagulls, first baseman, number 38, Tate Lewis. Batting fifth, designated hitter, number 16, Ethan Johnson. Batting sixth, second baseman, number 9, Jalen Hodges. Batting seventh, left fielder, number 36, Derek Waldvogel. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 30, Carson Chavez. And batting ninth for San Francisco, shortstop, number 11, Thomas Mayer. The starting pitcher for the Seagulls is number 34, Max McGrady.
If you want to run like a tiny sound, any song that you think's cool, you can. If you're ready for the anthem.
And now, fans, here's the starting lineup for your Alameda Merchants. Hosted by head coach T.C. Fairfield. Leading off and playing center field, number 23, Dominic Nahar. Batting second, left fielder, number 12, Ben Ryland. Batting third, third baseman, number 28, Ben Giovanetti. Batting fourth, designated hitter, number 21, Emmett Finney. Batting fifth, first baseman, number 8, Fabian Gomez. Batting sixth for the Merchants, catcher, number 17, Riley Winchell. Batting seventh, right fielder, number 6, Hayden Jung Goldberg. Batting eighth for Alameda, the shortstop, number 2, Vicente Feliciano. Batting ninth, second baseman, number 9, Caleb Latimer. The starting pitcher for the Alameda Merchants is number 32, Jackson Garcia. The umpires for today's contest, we could not play a game without them. Our crew chief and home plate umpire tonight is Eric Thompson. First base umpire, George Kirkland. And third base, it's David Lee. Our two teams will assemble as we first bring you a memorial. Fans, we ask if you could please give your attention in joining the Seagulls and the Merchants in remembering a friend and beloved member of the Alameda baseball community. Brendan Baker passed away on June 11th. He was 51 years old. Brendan spent the past 15 years as the resident umpire for Alameda Little League. Brendan showed up day in and day out to the field with a positive and caring attitude. Brendan genuinely loved everyone, and his energy and presence will be greatly missed in our community, not just in baseball, but in Alameda and beyond. The Seagulls and the Merchants would like to dedicate this game to the memory of Brendan Baker. Rest easy, friend. Fans, please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you, fans. And how about a round of applause for Brendan Baker? And now, fans, we ask if you please remain standing if you're able, and to doff your hat or cap if you're wearing one. As we strive to meet the ideals of America, we rise for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you, everyone, and thanks to those who served America.
Welcome to Pat Bale Field for a Wednesday evening showdown between the Alameda Merchants and the San Francisco Seagulls. I'm Ethan Siegel, joined alongside Kyle Floyd. And on paper, Kyle, this matchup looks a little bit lopsided. Currently, San Francisco amidst a 9-game losing streak, including 3 of those losses in that span this past weekend to the Alameda Merchants. These two teams feel a little bit far apart in the standings, despite just being 2 weeks into the season.
It's certainly early on are two teams headed in different directions. Obviously, the Seagulls come in having a lot to play for, wanting to turn that around, wanting to get their offense going, defense going, all 3 facets of the game. If you're the Merchants, you're looking to just keep doing what you're doing. They are rolling offensively, and the pitching side, perhaps surprisingly, has been really strong for them. They're going to be led today by the righty Jackson Garcia.
Well, you mentioned it. 1-10 for San Francisco. The Merchants have had a really strong start to this season, 8-4, including a 2-1 record here at home. They've been mostly on the road so far in this young CCL season, but they're near or at the top of almost every offensive statistical category. Meanwhile, the San Francisco squad, the exact opposite can be said about them. Why they struggled so much early on in the season?
It could be a lot of things, but one of the differences that I've noticed in these two teams is just the quality of at-bats that they put up. The Merchants are near the top of the league in walks taken offensively, and the Seagulls have struggled. A lot of strikeouts, not a whole lot of on base from that team. And when you're struggling, things can kind of snowball. It can get away from you. Maybe you're not putting together great at bats, and you just don't want to fall down that hole if you're the Seagulls. You got to take it really. It's a cliche, but you want to take it one pitch at a time to try to get back in that rhythm.
Well, it's a Seagull offense that, as we've mentioned, has really struggled, scoring exactly 3 runs per game so far in the CCL season, and in order to try and best that number today, they'll have to get something going against the righty Jackson Garcia, who's making the start for Alameda today, the right-handed pitcher from Chabot College. He last appeared this past weekend on Saturday against the Seagulls, where he threw 2 innings and was flawless, gave up no hits, just 1 walk, struck out 4 across his 2 innings of work. He brings a 3.38 ERA into the season. Starting things off, it'll be Alan Ramirez trying to get things going. So we take a look at the Merchant lineup. Mentioned it's Garcia on the bump today, Winchell behind the dish, the infield from left to right, Ben Giovanetti, Vicente Feliciano, Caleb Latimer, and Gomez, as that first pitch swung on and sent out to the left fielder. Ben Ryland scoops it up tries to toss it over, hits the cutoff, but a lead-off double for Alameda for San Francisco, I should say, before I could even get through the lineup card.
6:43.
Yeah, Alan Ramirez says, why wait around trying to put together a good at-bat? We've been struggling offensively. I'm going to get a first pitch fastball. I'm going to line it down the left field line. That's exactly the start you're looking for if you're San Francisco.
Well, to finish out, left field, who was there to try and scoop up that ball, was Ben Ryland. The other players in the outfield, Dominic Nahar in center, Hayden Young-Goldberg in right field. It's a Seagulls team that is currently last in the CCL with just 1.09 extra base hits per game, and they have one there on the first pitch of the ball game as Garcia fires in a pitch. Sent down for a bump, Garcia scoops and tosses over to first to record the out, but the runner advances over to third as San Francisco looking to strike early.
Good job by Garcia keeping his calm there as he did bobble that ball a little bit on that bunt play, but the message is clear from San Francisco. We want to start fast. We want to start early. They want to break out of this funk that they've had offensively and as a team. And as I mentioned before, about as good a start as you could have trying to do that.
So now it'll be Ben Koch with one out and a runner on third. Ben Koch in yesterday's loss to Walnut Creek, who currently leads the CCL North Division with a 7-1 conference record. Koch was 0 for 2 yesterday with a walk and a stolen base. Has struggled to start this CCL season, hitting .080 in 25 at-bats. Chance for his first RBI of the season right here. Swings through the 1-0 pitch.
Yeah, and we had this conversation before the game. While we're going through each player, we just notice a lot of struggling. That .080 might be on the lower end, but there's not a whole lot of high averages up and down this lineup for the Seagulls.
The 1-1 pitch also laid down for a bunt, and a perfectly placed one that will get the run across. And in addition, Koch will be safe at first. Some nice backup by the second baseman, Latimer, to be able to prevent that from becoming extra bases. But a picture-perfect bunt off the bat of Ben Koch scores the first run of the game.
And again, what do you do when you're struggling? You manufacture, you put the defense in a place where they have to make a play. It was a perfect bunt. Both bunts have been well placed. Garcia had no choice but to go to first, and the throw was late. So off to the races for the Seagulls early.
Tate Lewis steps in, still with one out, now a runner on first. And on the flip side of the coin, this is a Merchants pitching staff that has been really good to start the season. It was one of the team's biggest weaknesses a season ago, but currently going into yesterday's game, led the CCL with a .205 batting average against. Got pounded a bit yesterday in a 13-0 loss that dropped Alameda 8-4 on the season.
Garcia's been a big part of that. You noted his stats in his last game. Overall, this spring, he kind of matched the number of walks and strikeouts. This summer, he's got 10 strikeouts to 4 walks. The command has been a lot better for him. It's players showing improvement like that that has led to the pitching staff performing well. Garcia
fires the 1-1 pitch high for ball 2. And you mentioned that across this Seagull starting lineup, not too many players who have high or even average batting averages so far on the season. Only 4 players on the entire roster above that Mendoza line at 200. Does not include Tate Lewis, who's hitting .130 this season in 23 at-bats. Yesterday against Walnut Creek, went 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Did record his first hit in well over a week, though. Dating back to June 7th was the last time he reached with a hit. Now the 2-1, a big crack from Tate Lewis to even the count.
And Lewis took a high fastball. A couple pitches before that time, he swings and misses at one. Want to emphasize that there is a lot of talent in this Seagulls lineup. It just hasn't shown up this summer yet, and so they are due. You just don't hope you're the victims of that if you're Alameda.
Runner goes on the 2-2 pitch, but that fouled back in our direction, so he'll have to head back to first, and we'll redo things with a 2-2 count.
Koch off with the pitch on that last offering. He does have 3 stolen bases this summer. Wouldn't be surprised if the Seagulls want to keep that pressure on. That is one of the things that they have done well offensively, is they have racked up the stolen bases.
Second in the CCL in stolen bases, behind only Alameda's. The 2-2 pitch from Garcia once again tapped foul. So Lewis is fighting so far. So far this season against Alameda, these two teams already very familiar with each other. Alameda's won all 4 of the contests so far. This representing the 5th game these two teams have played against each other in the last 15 days. Lewis is 0 for 7 with a walk so far against the Merchants. Awaits the 2-2 pitch. The runner goes once again. The pitch is low, and the throw is late. So runner advances to second, and now a full count to Tate Lewis.
That was the perfect throw. Hit the corner of the bat.
Yeah, that pitch was in the dirt. Winchell did really well to pick that up and transfer and throw directly to the bag, but the second baseman Latimer was a little late getting over, wasn't in the proper position to receive that throw.
And I should add, Winchell fired a great throw down to second base. It was right in the spot that if Latimer had been there a little earlier, might have been able to make a play. Nice and low on the corner of the bag, right where Koch's foot was sliding in. The 3-2 pitch gets him with a backwards K. A much-needed strikeout for Jackson Garcia for the second out here in the first inning.
Potentially Lewis just overthinking a little bit in that at bat.
Ethan Johnson.
That's a 3-2 fastball that caught a lot of the plate, and he just could not quite pull the trigger.
Garcia opting for that fastball with a full count. Fastball usually topping out in the high 80s. Garcia also offers curveball, changeup, and cutter in his pitch arsenal. Now Ethan Johnson takes the first pitch.
Good poise being shown by Garcia so far this inning. A flurry of offense, those first 3 at-bats, laid a couple bunts down. It was 1-0 out of nowhere, but no panic being shown by him on the mound.
I'm your reliever.
Now the 0-1 fired in, awkwardly tapped toward the Merchant dugout, but a little too quickly for anyone to be able to make a play on the ball. So quickly, Johnson falls behind 0-2 in the count.
Johnson DHing today. Played all over the infield and at catcher in high school at the King's Academy. Very good athlete, highly touted coming out of high school.
Garcia kicks on the 0-2. Just outside, ball 1. Johnson is one of those Seagull batters above that 200 line, hitting .233 so far this season. Also leads the Seagulls with 5 runs batted in. It's 3 doubles already on the season. We've already seen 1 extra base hit so far in this inning. A second one would already top the Seagulls' average. As that one swung on and sent over the head of the first baseman. That'll be RBI number 6 of the season. An RBI single for Ethan Johnson. Plates a second run as Ben Koch rounds third and comes home to score. And San Francisco not joking around early, taking a 2-0 lead.
I was just getting ready to read a note that I had on Ethan Johnson about how in showcases he was clocked off the bat up to 97 miles an hour. I'm not sure that one was quite that fast, but hit very, very hard. He looked fastball, he got fastball, and he ripped it into right field.
First pitch now to Jalen Hodges in for a strike, and you know, one of them may have come on a bunt, but that's already 3 hits now in this first inning for a San Francisco squad that entered today hitting 172 as a team this season. That's by far last in the CCL, a full 45 points below the second worst team as Hodges swings through a pitch, a breaking ball, falls behind 0-2.
And the hard contact has been on the fastball. That's the first big curveball that I've seen Garcia throw. He might need to mix that in a little bit more if he's going to finish off these hitters.
Johnson on first. The 0-2 pitch swung on and fouled. It's a few times we've already seen early in this contest Seagull hitters spoiling 2-strike pitches to keep at-bats alive.
And the second time we've seen what I presume is a hit and run called as well. They are not trying to wait around and put together good at-bats. They get somebody on the base, they want to make something happen. They are looking to manufacture runs to break out of this slump. They've already got 2 so far.
So the 0-2 pitch from Garcia once again. Kicks and fires. Just a bit high for ball 1.
And that is another breaking ball.
Ball
Just
2,
stayed high that time.
Ball 1, excuse me. Garcia will try again now with a 1-2 count as the runner goes, but it won't matter. A swing and into the glove of Winchell for a strikeout. But San Francisco plates 2 runs in the top of the first. Alameda already playing from behind as we head into the home half.
We're heading to the bottom of the first. They want to make something happen.
Back for the bottom of the first here on the Merchants Broadcast Network. A beautiful night here on the island, as it really has been for the past few weeks. It feels like same weather. We've got low 70s, high 60s, basically every day. Beautiful view of this Oakland skyline from Pat Bale Field as Max McGrady
Leading off for the Merchants.
gets set for his second start of the season, his fifth appearance. McGrady's thrown 7.2 innings so far this season. ERA in the double digits. He's struggled a little bit to find command. 8 walks to just 4 strikeouts on the season, but misses just wide on the first offering to Dominic Nahar.
It's going to turn out to be a big first inning for McGrady. Hoping for a shutdown inning after you gain some momentum in that first inning. Exactly what the Seagulls wanted, that fast start offensively. They'll see if McGrady can pick them up in the bottom half.
Nahar quickly works ahead. 2-0 in the count. Takes a crack at the third offering and fouls it back. Nahar on the season, a sparkling .347 batting average and a .407 on-base percentage. Already 6 multi-hit games on the season, but has surprisingly struggled a little bit in those games against San Francisco. Just a .182 batting average, 2 for 11 in contests against San Francisco. Takes a crack at another pitch, sends it over to the shortstop. Maher tosses it over to Lewis for the first out of the inning.
Good actions on that play by Maher. You know, once Nahar puts the ball on the ground, you got to move quickly and you got to move smoothly. You just did just that to record the out.
So it brings up Ben Ryland, who in the only other home game we've gotten to call between these two teams ended things all the way back on opening day with a walk-off hit against the Seagulls, but overall hasn't been hurting San Francisco too much. 2 for 10 on the season, although that does include 7 walks, so a .556 on base percentage for Ryland in 4 contests against San Francisco.
I was going to say walk-off hit, emphasis on walk when talking about Ryland. It's been a strength of this offense getting on base walk, and it's been a struggle for the Seagulls pitching staff with the number of walks they've allowed, as we mentioned in the open.
Ryland quickly falling behind 0-2. You mentioned it. 90 walks given by the San Francisco pitching staff, the most in the CCL. And Ryland, 16 walks on the season, just 55 plate appearances, a 29% walk rate. You have to imagine it's among the best in the CCL as he swings at that pitch and sends it right down Broadway for a single. It'll center fielder Koch, but Ben Ryland standing on first base with Alameda's first hit of the evening.
Batting third baseman, number 28, Ben Giovanetti.
for Ben Ryland. He's now reached base in all 12 games he's appeared in this season. Just an on-base machine for his left fielder.
Yeah, that time not via the walk. A nice crisp line drive up the middle. You could see McGrady upset with himself. Not a good 0-2 pitch. Fastball that got too much at the plate. Ryland stayed right with
Benetti of Ball State University. He takes a big swing at the first pitch and falls behind. Joe Benetti struggling so far to start the season, just a 118 batting average and is 0 for his.
Yeah, big swing characteristic of Giovanetti for sure. Struggles with strikeouts, but there's a lot of pop in that bat.
Ryland goes on the pitch way inside. Ryland will slide in with plenty of time to spare. Nice backup to prevent that ball from sputtering into the outfield, but a stolen base for Ben Ryland, who offers plenty of.
His game, big part of the game for this Merchants offense. Want to note that's another nice throw on a pitch in the dirt, this time by the catcher Chavez. Unfortunately for the Seagulls, not in time.
So now a 1-1 count with a runner in the scoring position for Giovanetti. In yesterday's loss to Menlo Park, Giovanetti came in as a pinch hitter.
As long as it looks good on the screen.
Yeah. On the hotspot on the other cell phone.
Here in the top of the second inning, I want to apologize for the technical difficulties we've been experiencing with our audio and video feed. Here in the top of the second. Since the stream last crashed out, As that ball sent into left center field. Trailing under it is Nahar, who makes the catch for the second out here of the top of the second inning. From a time where everything got lost back in the bottom of the first, you might have seen Ben Ryland get aboard, steal a base, had runner on second with just one out. Unfortunately, back-to-back strikeouts for the Merchants. Giovanetti and Finney went down. One looking, one swinging. Start things out here so far in the second inning. A Derek Waldvogel ground out followed by a one-out walk for Chavez, and that flyout that you just witnessed on your screen. And now the lineup card will turn over with a runner on first and 2 outs. It's Jackson Garcia, who's been out for a second inning of work. Once again, wanted to apologize for those technical difficulties. Hopefully we're now up and running with both audio and video.
Quite literally, quite literally up and running from my vantage point. I can count on getting my steps in.
The trials and tribulations of CCL Summer League Baseball, Kyle running down to make sure everything was all set up and trying to work out a quick fix, and we're back here on air in the top of the second. And score didn't change from the time that you left, so I'd say that's a pretty good sign.
I need to get in better shape anyway, so it all works out for everybody.
A few up downs on the staircase and on the ladder as that pitch just a bit outside for ball one. It's Alan Ramirez, who his first time up had that first pitch he saw and sent a double out into left field. Came around to score as the runner goes on the pitch. Did get by him for a strike, so now a 1-1 count with a runner on second and 2 outs, but it will be a stolen base for Chavez, the catcher.
Yeah, that time Winchell couldn't find the ball in the dirt, but I don't think it was going to matter anyway. Chavez got a huge jump on the first move.
Second and. A 1-1 from Garcia. Tried to place it, but just a bit outside. It's Ramirez. Much like Finney we talked about last inning, plays his college ball at San Jose State, where he transferred from Mission College. Has yet to play in a game with the Spartans. Takes another pitch high and away for ball 3.
Garcia is a pitcher who really relies on his command. He's got 1 walk already this inning. Now he's behind 3-1. He's going to have to tighten that up.
Cannot find the strike zone once again. 3 consecutive balls offered to Alan Ramirez, who will get aboard for the second consecutive inning, this time courtesy of a walk.
Third baseman number 29, Jake Brewer.
Brings up Jake Brewer, who really by all accounts has been San Francisco's best hitter so far this season, hitting .344 across 32 at-bats this season. Had a well-placed bunt back in the first inning that moved Ramirez up. He would eventually score.
I would watch the hit and run here again with 2 runners on, a lot of speed on the base paths. And it really seems like the Seagulls want to force the issue today.
And
may not have to, though. I'm sorry, may not have to if Garcia keeps missing the strike zone.
As you mentioned, Garcia, first pitch sent in a ball. We'll try again now with a 1-0 count. That one finds the strike zone, and it was fouled back. Brewer has been absolutely lethal so far this season against Alameda. 7 for 15 against the Merchants this summer, including an RBI, a walk, a stolen base, and his hits in all 4 games prior to this one that these 2 teams have played, including 3 multi-hit contests. So now the 1-1, and Garcia will turn and check in on Chavez, who got back standing.
Brewer was really strong at Kenyatta College this spring as well, hitting at .302. One of many Seagulls who have put up good years this season. He's had it translate to the summer.
You know, he wasn't this type of player a summer ago when he played for San Francisco last summer with the Seagulls. Just .193 was his batting average, on-base percentage sitting at .333, and he's really transformed his game. You mentioned this past season collegiately, and bringing it now to the Bay this summer. As he awaits the 2-1 pitch from Garcia, swung on and fouled back.
Garcia had a really nicely placed breaking ball in the first inning to Hodges. Seems like his struggles are mainly in trying to get the off-speed stuff or the breaking stuff located where he wants. As it stands now, the Seagulls are just trying to kind of waiting back for a fastball in the zone that they can do something with.
2-2 count with 2 outs and 2 on, but it's outside for ball 3. 78-mile-per-hour pitch went to the breaking ball again, and it was outside.
Big pitch here.
So now the payoff pitch from Garcia. Pivotal moment early in this one. Swung on, tapped over to the shortstop. It's Feliciano who scoops it up and tosses it over to Fabian Gomez to record the 3rd out and keep the score where it is. 2-0. San Francisco leads as we head into the bottom of the second.
2 left for the Seagulls. We are heading to the bottom of the second.
Watch me now, look at me going. Now we on a mission, you don't wanna be missing. Yeah, here we go, start the ignition. You've been waiting your whole life for something this good. We'll be up in that limelight, burning like we should. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Back for the bottom of the second, Alameda trailing 2-0. Fabian Gomez will get the first
baseman,
crack
8,
against Max
Fabian
McGrady back out
Gomez.
for another inning of work. Gomez, slow start to this summer, brings just a 125 batting average into today's contest.
You didn't catch that? Oh, okay.
Though a much better on-base percentage, has a walk rate of pretty healthy 19%.
Leading off and batting.
So he took the first pitch in for a strike.
One of my favorite parts of
Too many words.
summer ball is getting to see these sorts of players who are entering their freshman year of college, getting early tastes, facing some college level pitching. He's off to a slow start, but these are invaluable reps that Gomez is getting. And it speaks to the potential he has, that Coach Fairfield often has him in the lineup early, often has him hitting.
The University of California, Santa Barbara his knees.
You see it on that swing, but everything you read about Gomez, it says especially for a young player.
On tapped over, easy play for the second baseman Hodges.
The 2 strikes got him to roll over, excuse me.
Batting 6, catcher number 17.
Something going, obviously still early in this one, and we've seen Alameda already complete a few comebacks so far this season, including been playing with the lead for a lot of this season. Winchell poked first pitch foul.
You, Ethan, they are not often playing from behind. I'd be surprised if that changes anything in their approach from the batter's box, but a little bit of a different tack they have to take tonight.
Now Winchell falls behind 0-2 after fouling 2 pitches away. Winchell has done most of his damage so far this season on the road, hitting just 125 in 3 home contests compared to a glistening 364 batting average when away from Pat Balefield. Having to defend the count now, behind 0-2. Takes a breaking ball in the dirt, a good decision. First ball of the at-bat.
Got McGrady at 4 of the 6 hitters. First pitch strikes. Talked about the command issues from this staff coming into this game, and he's done well to turn that around in the early going.
Swings through the 1-2 pitch into the glove of Chavez. Another strikeout. That's already the 3rd of the day for Max McGrady.
And Winchell got a piece of that.
Number 6.
Seemed to think
Goldberg.
it hit the dirt before Chavez was able to catch it, but no dice there. Good breaking ball from McGrady. He seems to have everything working.
Hayden Young Goldberg steps in. And he swings at the first pitch, another first pitch strike, and this one will be an easy play for Tate Lewis at first base, who snags it and steps on the bag. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Max McGrady. That'll end things here in the 2nd inning as we head to the 3rd inning. Merchants trail 2-0. It's young Goldberg, we asked him.
Is it Joe?
We asked him, it's young.
Okay, good. That's good. Yeah. I thought you told me Joe. I did. Yeah. What is it, Joe? I did it.
A couple of perfect flies. That's what I brought to you. I saw you through a broken window with a different point of view. You had signs of depression from a long line of sin on your face. Tells a story about the places you had been. I love you so.
What can I get, Robert? Did you get some food?
I thought you should know.
Good to eat, right? Top there. You do get to eat, right? Can I get you guys some?
Back here for the top of the 3rd inning, and before the game, we took a moment to honor an important member of the Alameda community who recently passed.
Yeah, you may have heard on our stream before we started going, Ethan, about the passing of Brendan Barker, who was really a pillar in the Alameda baseball community. I know our partner, our statsman Octavian, was actually planning to umpire with him this coming Tuesday. Passed away unexpectedly on June 11th. He performed many roles at the Alameda Little League District, from umpire to groundskeeper to assistant. Whatever they needed from Brendan Barker, he was there when they needed him during fair weather and foul. And so we took a moment before the game, had a beautiful moment of silence to honor him. He will be greatly missed to everybody in this community, and we just want to send out the condolences to his family and everybody affected by that passing.
Certainly a pillar of the community as Ben Koch gets a hold of one, but right into the glove of Dominic Nahar for the first out here in the 3rd inning.
One of the things we both gotten to experience just a few games broadcast into this summer, Ethan, is there really is an incredible community around this Alameda Merchants team. around the Alameda Anchors as well. A lot of people have been involved with this program for a long time, and it is very much a labor of love.
Absolutely.
The running of this summer league team.
And speaking of which, excited to tease that in the 5th inning, at least we believe in the 5th inning, one of the longest tenured members of that Alameda baseball family, Dan Mills, who's been with the Merchants for over a decade as the recruiting coordinator, as one of the coaches on the squad, will be joining us live in the broadcast booth here in the 5th inning to talk about the start to the 2025 season. So really excited to tease that out as that pitch kind of escaped Garcia, was zooming toward the helmet of Tate Lewis, who dodged at the last moment. And now we have a 1-1 count with one out here in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, Merchants almost reversed their fortunes from the early going last year. Got off to a really tough start, off to a fast start with a lot of talent this year.
Yeah, currently 2nd in the CCL North standings behind only the Walnut Creek Crawdads, who sit at 7-1 entering today's action. That one loss coming to Alameda. And last time I checked, as we'll take a look at some of the scores around the league, I guess. Last time I checked, Walnut Creek was trailing. That is still true. Menlo Park leads Walnut Creek 6-1 in the bottom of the 7th, so potential opportunity for Alameda to make up some ground in the standings, but of course they'll need to stage a comeback in this one, although it's still early. But the Merchants currently a game and a half back of Walnut Creek. Now a 3-1 pitch. High, so ball 4 to Tate Lewis. And as you've mentioned, Garcia struggled a little bit with his command so far early in this one.
Yeah, we got that as the 3rd walk on the afternoon, and I mentioned the great poise he showed in the 1st inning, not panicking after a lot of traffic on the base pass. He also had a couple left on base in the last inning, so he has shown the resolve to not allow things to snowball, but that pitch count is quickly rising, and we're starting to see some folks stir out there in the bullpen.
First pitch that time was able to find the strike zone against Ethan Johnson. Johnson, an RBI single back in the 1st inning. Taps one towards the first baseman and fumbled it on the recovery. Had a chance for a double play, but Gomez able to recollect the ball and step on the bag. Doesn't get the lead runner, but the 2nd out recorded nonetheless.
And that recovery is another good example of the poise for a young player. Overusing that word a little bit earlier, but great poise shown by Gomez after the initial bobble there. Was able to recover, made the quick decision just to go to first. You like the actions there. He was trying to turn and get his potty in position to throw to second to start the double play. Just wasn't able to field that cleanly.
So now Jalen Hodges will try and plate this run with 2 outs. And it looks like a balk call. That's the first one we've seen here at Pat Bale Field this season, as Garcia will allow the runner to advance over to 3rd base now, courtesy of a balk.
Yeah. Umpire looked like to judge that he didn't get properly set before he came to the plate.
Ball offered to Jalen Hodges. Hodges struck out to end the 1st inning. Is 1 for 9 so far this season against Alameda, though that does include 5 walks as well. He's actually supposed to be a member of the Merchants this summer for flipping to play with San Francisco.
Hodges, one of the players I had the fortune of seeing in some of my broadcasts for San Francisco State this spring. One of the leaders of that East Bay offense at .339 this spring. Excellent bat-to-ball skills.
The 2-0 sent foul in the direction of Fabian Gomez. So first strike of the at-bat for Jackson Garcia. And Hodges, who's hitting just 167 on the season, has 4 hits so far in the young campaign, including 3 of which came in 1 game against Walnut Creek a little over a week ago.
And all CCAA honorable mention this spring. A lot of talent in the batter's box.
He sends one sky high into shallow left field. Under it is the shortstop Feliciano for the 3rd out. So that's 2 straight goose eggs put up on the scoreboard by Jackson Garcia. But Alameda's offense will be tasked with making up the score here in the bottom of the 3rd. Don't go anywhere.
The bottom of the 3rd. It's 2-0 Seagulls.
But I'm announcing. I need to sing it for you. Dad was asking for that. Do that? No. I don't think I recorded, but then I remember to record. The sentence. The sentence.
Leading off and batting eighth for the Merchants, shortstop number 2, Vicente Feliciano.
Back for the bottom of the third inning. Alameda still in a 2-run deficit. Vicente Feliciano steps in. We'll see his first at-bats of the season here at Pat Bale Field. Joined the team a few games late as that one escaped the glove of Chavez, was outside anyways for ball 1. Feliciano has appeared in a handful of games so far in Alameda's recent road stretch, but has struggled to start the season. No hits in his 15 plate appearances.
There we go.
Swings on one, and that will be hit number 1 of the season for Feliciano. Squirts one in there between the 5-6 gap, and the lead runner is aboard for Alameda.
I feel like we're well aligned with the baseball cosmos again. I feel partly responsible for the Seagulls' fast offensive start after we described the various ways in which they were not great offensively, but that time you got Feliciano's first hit, so we balanced things out here.
It'll bring up Caleb Latimer, hitting .241 on the season. That bumps up to .286 in contests against San Francisco. So it's 4 RBIs in those games against the Seagulls.
It's also, I'm sorry, I was going to say it's a great job by Feliciano taking that pitch the other way. We saw a couple times last inning. McGrady induced a couple rollovers, so good to see a hitter stay back on that fastball.
McGrady, who's been relatively spotless. Now the runner goes on the pitch. Throw is high. We've had some really good throws by catchers so far early in this one. That was not one of them. Might have had a chance to get Feliciano, but he slides in safely as middle infielders had to hop up to try and snag that one. Escaped into the outfield anyways.
Yeah, I think your assessment is spot on there, Ethan. It was a good first step by Feliciano, but I think a good throw gets him there at second. So you'll take that. If you are the Merchants, try to get on the board, cut this deficit at least in half.
So McGrady will reset. Now with a runner on second, no outs. 1-1 count to the 9-hitter Caleb Latimer. That's a big swing and a miss for the second strike. Latimer of Oklahoma Baptist University. Originally from Fresno, California. He's been a mainstay at the bottom of this Merchants lineup. It's been really good before that lineup card turns over. Some of the heavy hitters get a chance to go. Trying to set the table here. Some weak contact off the bat, but nonetheless gunned down at first. Charging on the play was Maher, who scooped and tossed over to first base. Runner was able to advance, but the first out of the inning recorded.
And that was a good play with Feliciano crossing in front, going to third on that weak contact. Be able to keep face and make that play cleanly.
So it brings up Dominic Nahar, who from the get-go has been one of the most dangerous hitters in this Merchant lineup. Been a little bit cold as of late, grounded out to start this game for Alameda, but is hitting just .222 in his last 4 games.
All you're looking for here, if you are the Merchants, is contact, and you got the right guy at the plate if you're looking for him to put the ball into play.
You're certainly right about that. A great strikeout rate, just 13% on the season for Nahar. For that reason, Coach T.C. Fairfield calls him a true leadoff hitter, just so good at putting the ball in play, and it's been really great when he's been able to do that. A .405 batting balls in play so far this sac fly opportunity certainly in play with a runner on third and one out. McGrady, the righty, fires in the pitch. That one high for ball two.
It's a good take on that high fastball. You saw the first and third baseman pinched in on the first couple steps back with each successive pitch. Now it looks like the second baseman is going to come in a little bit.
The 2-1 delivery sent way out of play for strike two. Nahar recently won Cal State East Bay's Male Freshman Athlete of the Year award, where he hit .329 across 45 games this season. A .388 on base percentage, including 23 stolen bases. Nahar always dangerous on the base pass. Already has 9 this summer. Has some work to do to get on base here. It's on the board courtesy of a wild pitch.
That Nahara didn't have to make any contact. Another off-speed pitch that leaked inside. We've seen Chavez be able to block a couple of those. That time, no dice.
Yeah, that one wasn't too far out of the zone, or I should say it was relatively straight ahead, but a hard play as that hopped a few feet in front of the catcher Chavez. Now base is empty. 3-2 pitch sent the other way and just foul. So we'll do it again. So Nahar no longer has the opportunity to get his 6th RBI of the season, but Alameda, I think, will take the run nonetheless. The payoff pitch once over. McGrady fires. That one tapped to the right side of the infield, charging as the first baseman, covering the bag. It's going to be a close play, but it looked like Nahar got there. We mentioned his speed, and it was on full display right there. You called it a foot race, and that's exactly what it was, beating McGrady to the bag. And that'll be a single for Nahar.
Yeah, Nahar probably swung at ball 4 there, but that's the benefit of that speed. As soon as the first to go over to cover it, it was going to be tough sledding for McGrady to beat Nahar to first base. I want to mention that wild pitch was so wild that it knocked our camera angle off a bit. You could only slightly see Nahar first base, so as they meet on and go down and correct that for our viewers.
It's the 3rd hit of the day for Alameda. As kind of steps away to take care of you viewers who are watching our broadcast here on YouTube. Now a runner on first and one out for Nahar, who extends his reached base streak to 10 consecutive games. He's got a hefty lead here on first base. First pitch to Ben Ryland outside for ball 1. Ryland singled back in the first, then stole second. He's been so dangerous, but also so disciplined for this Alameda roster. No strikeouts in the 5 games so far against the Seagulls, as now McGrady turns to check in on Nahar, who slides back in safely. The pitch will be Nahar, but he's going to have to turn 180 degrees and head back the other way. He gets back with not a ton of time to spare. The catcher Chavez backing up the throw, I should say. A fly out for Ben Ryland to the center fielder, Ben Koch. Well, and on Ben action there.
Third baseman, number 28, Ben Giovanetti.
From one Ben to another, Ben Giovanetti steps into the batter's box. We saw T.C. Fairfield opt to send the runner on that pitch. Wouldn't be surprising to see do it once again with the speedy Nahar. And 50 stolen bases for the Merchants. That leads 14 teams in the CCL. Giovanetti struck out back in the first on a pitch that worked its way into strike zone, a breaking ball, and as I predicted, Nahar going on the first pitch and as the catcher Chavez struggled to locate the ball. More than enough time for Nahar to get in. So now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
I'd love to see a side-by-side of Nahar in steal-ready position and local hero, local great Ricky Henderson. Yeah, that same kind of stance, reading the pitcher, leaned over, that arm straight down, and he read that pitcher well there.
Again on the 1-0 pitch, and no throw even attempted by Chavez. Pulling bases for Dominic Nahar. That'll be number 10 on the season for the speedy center fielder. That speed, we saw it as he was able to reach first base. And now showing it off on the base paths. A 2-0 count for Giovanetti. Swung on, sent foul, and this Alameda team has a lot of speed. I'm curious, I'd want to get a foot race between maybe the likes of Cy Turner, Ben Ryland, Dominic Nahar. If you had to take your pick, Kyle, who'd you guess is the true fastest guy on this Merchants roster?
I might be biased, but I saw Nahar burn up the base pass a lot this spring. I'm betting on him.
You might be right. Now the 2-1 pitch to Giovanetti, just a little bit high. Moves the count to 3-1.
And obviously big getting to third base there with 2 outs. They scored their first run on a wild pitch in the dirt, so perhaps some hesitance to go to a breaking ball here, maybe get a good pitch for Giovanetti.
Reset, and now the 3-1 pitch sent sky high. This one looks like it'll stay in playable range for the catcher Chavez, who flips the glove to the underhand side and makes the catch for out number 3. So Alameda strands one, but does plate one to inch a little bit closer. 2-1. San Francisco leads after 3.
Hits, 1 left. The Merchants are on the board. It is 2-1.
So,
Well, at least we're on the board, so that's something to be excited about, you know?
I'll tell you that. Ethan Siegel, Kyle Floyd for the Alameda Merchants.